everybody. Tweet of the week goes to Amelie Mate, who said, training myself to get better at eating my frogs earlier and earlier, thanks to Cristen Conger for reminding me. Slimy. We have no idea what Amelie's talking about. That means you haven't watched the Ask Cristen How to Avoid Burnout, in which I talk about the importance of eating your frogs. This week on Stuff Mom Never Told You, you might have noticed a high school theme to it. On Monday, we started things off with the science of teen drama, followed up on Wednesday by why do cliques exist? Because seriously, why? Finally, with all that high school nostalgia buzzing in my brain, I gave belated advice to my high school self, in which you probably learned a lot, maybe too much, about who I was. Now to Ask Cristen. First of all, thanks to everybody who watched and commented on last week's Ask Cristen video. Why do we always sit in the same seats? Roxy Richards had this to say: I took a class in college that taught you skills to succeed in college, and they said that the students that sit in what's called the T-zone get noticed by professors more and tend to do better in class in general. The T-zone was across the front and down the middle. Personally, I always felt I did better in those seats. I said to Roxy, I always thought the T-zone was just that area on your face that is more prone to getting oily during the day. Will Davis also commented about how he is homeschooled, so he doesn't sit in a classroom, but this kind of situational territoriality also plays a role at family gatherings. In every room there was always 2 empty seats for my grandparents, and even sitting in their seats was deemed disrespectful. My grandmother passed away and my grandfather eventually remarried, and still the seat for my maternal grandmother remained open for 16 years. The first time a girlfriend of mine came, she sat down in my grandmother's chair, and I had to grab her and run outside to inform her about the no-sit zones. Humans and their seats. Now to this week's Ask Cristen question from Sully3 Salil. Why do people in relationships call their significant other babe or baby? Full disclosure, I selfishly picked this question because Professor Boyfriend and I are a total babe couple. Kind of a joke among our friends. Hey babe, hey babe, hey babe. English speakers have been using baby as a term of endearment ever since 1694, which is when the Oxford English Dictionary traces back its very first usage, not to refer to a baby, but you know, your baby. That sounded so creepy. This is not just a phenomenon exclusive to the English language. In French, for instance, you might call someone your bébé. Even the Chinese have a term that means the same thing as baby, which is baobei, which I'm probably mispronouncing because, y'all, I don't speak Mandarin. The best explanation I could find as for why cross-culturally we might be compelled to use baby as a term of endearment came from this theory about the evolutionary advantage of babies' cuteness. In a nutshell, this theory, and let me emphasize that this is a theory developed by someone else, I'm merely delivering the information of that theory, I'm not stating it as fact, proposes that babies evolved their super duper cuteness as a way to keep their dads around and interested in them and wanting to invest in their livelihood for the long term, making a giant leap forward into linguistics. Some think that perhaps we call our significant others baby as a reflection of the importance of that preciousness and cuteness in the fundamental bonding of our basic family units. There are also some linguists who take more of a literal stance with it, in that babies are these things that need total and complete care and love and attention because they cannot do for themselves. When we call our significant other baby, it is a way of communicating to them, not necessarily that they can't do for themselves, but that we want to give them our complete love and care and would do anything for them because they are our baby. There are also some people who take it even more literal than that and say, okay, guess what? I am a full-grown human adult. I am not a baby. I can do for myself. Different couples will understandably have different preferred terms of endearment for each other. Studies suggest that using pet names and terms of endearment is a sign of relationship health. A 1993 study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, which found a correlation between the use of pet names, terms of endearment, and happiness in a relationship. There does come a point in relationships, these authors contend, where using someone's proper name just feels too formal. I can anecdotally attest to the fact that if my boyfriend and I are using each other's proper names, it's usually because I'm in public and very aware of the fact that we say babe all the time, and that sometimes annoys our friends, or that means we're having more serious discussion and that it is not babe and baby time, okay? One historical side note that I got a kick out of: some think that the oldest term of endearment is little dove, going back to the use of dove as a term of endearment in the Song of Songs in the Bible, which is the reason why in the 16th century some lovers called their lovers turtle, as in turtle dove. Even older than turtle is sweetheart, which goes all the way back to 1290. Now I want to know from you, are you a babe or baby, or are you one of those people who does not like the whole babe, baby, bae? Or if you prefer a special term of endearment that is all your own, let me know. And as always, ask me your questions so I can give you little babies some answers. Baby, bae, sweetheart, Mopsy, Frisco, prawn? Prawn was one.